Hello everyone, it's Irene in here once again. So today I'm bringing you the Divine Speaker. This is an 18 plus BL Yaoi. So yeah, it has like some scenes. I didn't saw any of those scenes during the skipping. I was like just skipping the demo to see if there was something in there. I didn't find nothing, but let's be alert to the fact that sometimes I might be like clicking on choices that are not the ones that are going to trick those scenes. Okay, so it might happen. Okay, and what I would say is that we still might find some nudity in here. Okay, this is from the developers. I forgot the name. 2.5 Studios. And this is a title from 2022. And it says that it's a tale of breaking the fate that binds us all. Where do I have like them? Oh, I think I had like... I thought I had a lot more of the story, but apparently I don't. It just says... this is a novel where you'll follow along Raen, an orphan from the secluded city of Aurelia Cavella, expelled from his home on a death sentence. His adventure will take him all over a world he didn't even know existed. Mysteries, magic, fantasy, and more await you in this grand tale of fate and how each person defies it. Yeah, we only have this. Oh, what a pity. Apparently we have 3 romanceable guys in here. Let me see. 2 hidden side couples. If we make the right choices. Okay. There's a streamer mode. There is a streamer mode. And full voice acting. Okay. Did we have like a streamer mode? You know, to disable those sexual scene parts. Do you understand? I don't think so. Maybe it's... yeah, as I said, maybe it's because... oh, sorry, I was not expecting this. As I was saying, it's probably because the demo doesn't actually have those parts, I would presume. Because otherwise we would probably get like that extra setting thing. So, God, I'm very sleepy today. Let's see how it works. Okay, welcome to the extended demo. Where would you like to start? Oh, maybe it had like another... it had another demo and this is like the extended one. Yeah, let's start from the beginning.
The birth of a child heralds many things: change, adaptation, confusion, but most importantly, the judgment. A newly born child's first destination isn't its mother's arms, but the embrace of another. The Divine Speaker, the person tasked with determining a child's destiny from the day they are born till the day they die. This destiny is determined by lottery. The Speaker's hand, guided by the forces above, always chooses the correct fate for the correct child. This judgment guides them on the path to eventually becoming the person they were always destined to be.
Raen, could we pretty please go play outside?
We promise to be back before it gets dark.
I quickly... sorry. It started great. I quickly glanced over in the matron's direction and she gave me a short nod. I didn't really have the authority to tell them what they could do, but that never stopped them coming to ask me, oh well, I don't mind. They knew I could never say no to them.
All right, but make sure to be back before sundown. And don't go anywhere close to the forest, okay?
Yay! Thank you, Rain! We promise we won't!
But why aren't we allowed to ever play there? Can we go when we're adults?
No, you can't.
But why? It's not fair!
I let out a sigh, but felt a small smile rising to my face. I couldn't help chuckling at their curiosity. They would ask the same question every time they wanted to go out and play.
Come over here and I'll explain it to you.
I walked over to the table at the far end of the hall. The top was littered with paper, children's book, and pencils. Buried among them was a map.
Look closely at this map while I explain. Our home, Aurelia Cavella, is surrounded on all sides by the forest.
Am I supposed to click on this? No. So Aurelia Cavella, yeah. I mean, I was thinking about that because it has two L's, and I was like, it doesn't seem like an English type of name. Is a vast city surrounded on all sides by a deadly forest that none enter. It's the only known civilization in the world led by the divine speaker himself. Okay. The forest. The forest that surrounds our Aurelia Cavella is both deadly and dangerous, according to the speaker. No one ventures outside for fear of death, although I'm not quite sure what exactly makes it so dangerous. Some say it's filled with evil beasts and wild animals, some say that supernatural forces are at work, and some say that leaving the lands protected by the gods will make them smite you. Honestly, I don't know which one I believe.
The forest is full of bad guys and dangerous animals. Do you know why?
Because the divine beings don't protect the outside land.
That's right. The beings above protect us while we are inside Aurelia Cavella. But that protection doesn't extend outside of our land. No one can survive out there. That's why everyone lives here, where we can be safe and happy. I know it might seem unfair now, but you'll understand when you're older that we're just trying to protect you. There's just nothing out there to find. The forest goes on infinitely, with us right at the center.
Everyone in the entire world lives here?
I guess some people might find it annoying to answer the same question every day. Not me, though. They are curious, and I can't blame them. When I was their age, I asked exactly the same questions to the older kids.
That's right. That's the way it's always been.
So that's the way it should always be, right?
But what's this place over there? Zuras?
She pointed to a place to the north of the city with the name Azuros written underneath it on the map.
Ah, Azeros?
Yeah,
I don't really know much about it, but...
I was actually going to say Azeros, because for me it makes more sense to say Azeros. But this is what happened. Remember what I was telling you, that when they put like different types of voice actors and they're like, oh, we don't know how to say this, so we just say it in the way that we want. But I was like, Azeros seems like it makes more sense, but I don't know. So Azeros lies to the north of Aurelia Cavella in a secluded area close to the speaker's residence. Those of age may enter and live out their remaining days in peace and relaxation.
Once you get old, and not old like me, I mean ancient, the divine beings in the speaker reward you for your lifetime of serving them. All the elders go to live there alone in peace and relaxation. I hear it's pretty luxurious, but I've never been there. You can only go when you're called upon.
The kids looked up at me, obviously interested in hearing more. There just wasn't much more to say. No one really knew what it was like in there. The speaker tells us about the luxuries of Azeroth, and it makes us work all the more harder to one day getting there. That's all we know about it.
Now go out and play before the sun starts setting.
They both scurried off out of the door, jumping, running, and screaming the whole way. Ah, they really are cute. I'm so happy to have such a great family here. Tobias, Mia, Maya, Mia, maybe Mia, all the others. They are like my brothers and sisters. Well, technically, I don't have a real family, but they've always been more than enough. I was dumped on the side of the road as a baby and ended up here. I never knew my parents, so it's hard to be angry about it when growing up here has been so good.
Raen, may I speak with you for a moment?
I looked up towards that voice that I knew well, the matron of the orphanage. A tough woman, but infinitely full of love. She's looked after me my entire life, along with dozens of other children.
Of course, ma'am. What do you need? I hope it was okay to let the children out to play for the day.
No, it's nothing about that. I'd just like to have a chat. You've been with us for a long time already. I found you in the gutters about 18 years ago today.
Has it really been that long already? It's true that I should be coming of age about now, so she probably thinks it's about time for me to be moving on.
Yes, it has been a long time. If you give me a few days, I'll say goodbye to the children and start packing up.
So funny, like an 18 years old kid saying, oh, it has been that long time. Yeah, just getting to my age, okay? And then we'll talk about it.
What? I think you misunderstand.
She reached into her pocket and pulled out a small envelope.
This is for you. Happy birthday. Go and get yourself something nice.
Oh, is it money? She smiled at me, so full of warmth, but it quickly changed to a scowl.
Also, don't think you're getting out of here anytime soon. I'd go out of my mind answering those questions every day.
She pushed the envelope into my hands and walked away, brusque as ever.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I'll head out and pick up the groceries you asked me to get earlier then. Be back soon.
The old heavy door groaned as I pushed against it. I stepped outside, breathing in the fresh air and enjoying the sunlight. The sun was high up in the sky and a nice breeze soared through the city. It was a beautiful day. But I couldn't help but notice that the flowers that were in full bloom yesterday were already wilting. Maybe no one watered them this morning?
Anyway,
I guess that must mean today's my birthday. It's not like I didn't realize it was coming up soon. Coming up sometime soon, sorry. But it wasn't really at the front of my mind. It's never been a big deal to me. I looked closely at the envelope in my hands, white and simple. This is the first time I have ever been given a birthday present. I'm scared to open it. I almost want to leave it sealed. It's kind of scary being given something out of nowhere. Curiosity was beginning to get the better of me, though. It's always been a problem of mine.
okay. 3, 2, 1, go!
I tore the seal open in one fell swoop.
Oh my. By the gods.
Inside was 10 marks. 10 marks! Do you know what is 10 marks? I don't. Which was more money than I'll had in my entire life, and a letter addressed to me.
Let's see. Dear Raen.
Dear Raen, happy birthday, my dear. I'm sorry we couldn't afford much to give you, but I hope it's enough for you to get something you like. The kids have been saving up just for you.
Yeah, it could be just like only $10. We don't know. You have no idea how much that represents.
From the day I found you, I've always thought of you as a son. Now that you're of age, it won't be long until you will be matched up yourself and have your own children. Until that day, please stay with us at the orphanage. Both the children and I would be lost without you.
Yeah, which is kind of funny because you have like the $1 bill. We don't have that in here. When it's like in terms of euros, you only start having like the bills from €5 up. We don't have like a €1 bill in here. We don't. Which was kind of like messy. Yeah, when I went there, it was kind of like messy for me to deal with your change, you know. It was kind of messy at the beginning. And I think it was more messy because you have like these quarters, right? Oh my god, it's been a really long time. I think you have like these quarters. And I was like, really complicated. Like, I know how it is. It's like when you are used to, you don't even think about it, okay? You don't. But when you are not used to, you're just like, wait, let me try to think about and do the math in here. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Yeah, kind of like that.
I'm sure if your parents saw you now, they would be proud of you, just like I am. Yours, Matron Arala.
I couldn't stop myself. My eyes welled up instantly and overflowed all over the letter. We don't need to read it. I mean,
Thank you.
they saved all this just for me. I can't let them down. I'll go buy something amazing to share with them. With determination, I started on my way to the marketplace, envelope and money buried in my clothing. The markets were just past the town square on the west side of Aurelia Cavella. The town square was where new children came for the judgments and where the speaker made his proclamations.
The beings above sing praise for the contributions you have given to our humble home. Likewise, they implore you to continue giving your lives over to them, for they provide you with protection from the evils lurking inside the forest.
Huh. Looks like the divine speaker is declaring something right now.
He was dressed head to toe in white and gold, the definition of elegance in his ceremonial gowns. His long silvery white hair reached down his back neatly.
I understand your frustrations about our failed crops, but do not worry yourselves, for the beings above have a reason for everything. Soon you will see why they have put you through these trials.
Apparently a lot of crops have been dying for the last few months. It's never been this bad before, and people are worried about our food levels.
Yes, Lord Speaker!
The failed crops, I think I heard a little about the situation from the matron. It seemed this was the first time in hundreds of years that they had failed this badly. And there's some worry about whether we'll have enough or not this winter.
Yes, Lord Speaker.
Before I knew it, I was already in the crowd, chanting along with the other residents. The eloquent and beautiful way he spoke was almost hypnotizing. The most highly respected person in all of Aurelia Cavella, second only to the gods. Just being in his presence was amazing. The whole time he spoke, the crowd stood mesmerized. I was so immersed, I didn't even notice he was already nearly finished.
In due time, all of you shall be rewarded with the freedom that Azeros brings. With this in mind, I hope you will continue your offerings and duties. Thank you.
Applause exploded out of the crowd as he finished his speech. Smiling, he waved and cast his eyes around the crowd. I waved and cheered along with the crowd before his eyes met mine. Almost instantly, a shock ran through my body. No, this one is not one of those that you can date. But I don't know if this has or there's like a sequel or something is thought out about this guy. I don't know. Yeah, he's very pretty. But we also don't know what kind of person we have in here. The shock changed to heat, and the heat changed to burning. Before I knew it, I crumpled to the ground, gasping for air, but it felt like my lungs were on fire. Every breath burned my insides even more. Everyone around was watching me, but worst of all were his eyes, the speaker's. I could still feel his eyes boring into me, as if he could see everything, even secrets you kept in the deepest parts of your soul. I have to escape them now. I forced myself back to my feet, ran as fast as I could, and ducked into a nearby alleyway. I could feel the world around me getting darker, blurrier. I fell to the ground in a fetal position, sobbing. Abruptly, the pain started to move. It concentrated itself into my left arm with the force of all of my previous pain put together.
Anyone, please.
I shuddered, clutching my arm and enduring the scalding pain before my vision went black.
You must protect, awaken, destiny, judgment.
I blinked a few times, trying to work out where I was. The darkness that surrounded my vision wore off slowly as I sat up.
That's right. I was in the town square, listening to the speaker, and then...
Wait, did I collapse there? Sorry. Did I collapse here? I quickly checked over my body. The pain was completely gone.
Huh? What? What is this?
When I looked closer, I noticed something that hasn't been there before. Some kind of strange markings were running down my arm. It's not a language I'll ever seen before. So after attending the speaker's speech, I was suddenly struck with a burning pain all throughout my body. I collapsed in a nearby alleyway, and when I woke up, strange markings were running down my arm. I can't read them. My first instinct was to try and scrap them off, but it was like it was branded on my own skin. It wasn't going anywhere.
I have to get back to the orphanage. They won't know where I am.
When I left, the sun was still high in the sky, but now it's already night. How long have I been out? I stood up slowly, holding on to the wall for balance. Yeah, to time enough for them to like tattoo that thing in their arm, right? Yeah, I don't think it's in that way, but I understand, yeah. The burning sensation was gone, and all I was left with was a sore body. Must be from collapsing onto the ground.
Where am I? I guess I'll head back the way I came.
Through the thick darkness, I followed the alleyway back the way I came, desperate for this all to be a dream. After a little searching, I somehow found my way back to the town square. A few people buzzed about, doing last-minute shopping or chatting with each other. I clenched my branded arm close to my chest, making sure to keep it out of view. I don't know what they'll do if they saw it. Sorry, I'm losing my. Yeah, I'm like this today. Sorry, I'm honestly like this today because yesterday I went out and it was very. I know you've probably been hearing that we've been getting hit by a lot of heat waves in Europe lately. And yesterday in here, it was incredibly hot, but I had to go out. And I went out and I bought like fresh water. Then when I was coming back, I needed once again to buy another bottle, and I bought like lemonade. It was very, very, very iced. Do you understand? So I'm like this today. Yeah, I'm like this today. I'm really feeling it. I know it was because of me drinking that very iced water, but I was in need. I was like melting. Do you understand? So I had to. But now I'm feeling it. Yeah. I don't know what they'll do if they saw it. I don't even know what it is. I couldn't help glancing around nervously, like some kind of thief worried about getting busted. That's why I didn't notice when I ran headlong into someone and got knocked off my feet.
Ouch!
I looked up at the person standing over me. He was tall, lean man, probably in his 20s, with dark red hair that reached down his back and a serious look on his face.
I'm so sorry.
He stood there for a moment, just watching me. His gaze made me nervous. It was like a snake sizing up its prey. That's when I noticed it wasn't me he was staring at, but my arm. I instinctively clutched my arm to my chest.
Is this where you usually spend your time bumping into people, or do you have a few favorite spots?
What? No. I don't usually bump.
Ah, I guess this is a privilege then. I feel lucky.
My mouth just kind of hung open. What's this guy's problem? I don't think I've ever met someone so rude.
I'm very sorry for running into you. I was just trying to get home quickly, too.
To hide whatever that is on your arm?
Again, all I could do was look at him in shock. We stared at each other for a moment before he held his hand out to me.
Let me help you up. If you stay down there long enough, people will start to think you're part of the scenery.
Yeah, this guy is one of the allies. So take his hand, stand up yourself. When I was skipping, it seemed to me like this guy is one of those rude type of guys. I want to know I should start. Okay, let's do a quick save or something. I kind of want to know what he will do if I actually just stand up for myself. I looked at his outstretched hand, but decided against taking it. Who needs help from someone as rude as him?
Thank you, but I'm perfectly capable of standing up myself.
I rose to my feet and dusted my clothes off.
I'll be leaving now. Sorry for causing you trouble.
Because, you know, like this type, sometimes they prefer when you act more like a tune. So I'm like, maybe he would prefer it, but I don't know. I quickly turned to leave. This guy is the last person I want to be wasting my time on.
Wait a second. I know something about the markings on your arm.
I whirled around to face him again, faster than I've ever moved before.
You do?
Whoops.
I mean, you do? What do you know about it?
I know the speaker keeps tomes written with the same markings in his personal archive. He's actually allowing visitors, but tonight only. Too bad you seem so busy. This might be the last time it's ever open to the public. Anyway, good night.
The red-haired man turned around and slipped off into the shadows. I was left with his words just hanging in the air. So I bumped into a red-haired man on my way back to the orphanage. He was both confrontational and rude, but he recognized my markings and directed me to somewhere that may hold some answers.
I guess one more slight detour wouldn't hurt. I'm already late as it is.
I bit my lip, thinking hard on his words. There's no way I could miss this chance. If it's the only way to find out what these markings mean, then... Determined, I turned towards the direction of the speaker's archives. It took a while to walk across town the speaker's palace to the speaker's palace. It was large, but mostly empty, seeing as he was the only resident. This is the first time I've ever heard of anyone being allowed into his personal archives, though. I think even the Lord has restricted access. So the speaker's archives are located on the north side of the town, near his castle. It's full of all the manuscripts and tomes and books on every subject imaginable. You could spend a lifetime in here and still not read anything. No one's ever allowed entry, but for some reason today it's open. Maybe this is my lucky day after all. I walked up to the door and knocked lightly.
Hello? Speaker? Are you home?
When I knocked, the door swung open. It was already unlocked and I could see light from inside.
I guess he's probably already in there, showing the archives to other people. Excuse me!
I opened the door further and followed the corridor down to another door that was slightly ajar. When I entered the room, I almost toppled over in astonishment. Thankfully, I didn't, since it would have been the third time I fell over in a single day. Bookshelves lined the walls, going up to the ceiling. Tomes and documents littered every surface, and the hazy light the candles flickered all over only furthered my amazement. It was beautiful. Never in my life had I seen these many books. I walked in further, feeling the spines with my fingers and smelling the musty scent of the room. Various books littered the tabletop in the center of the room. I walked closer to them. I read some of the titles: A Brief History, Sid Kaeham, I don't know, Bloodlines. There were thousands of books here I would love to read. It's too bad he's only allowing visitors for a single day. I picked up the first book, A Brief History. I flicked through it slowly, reading a few sentences off of each page. It looked like some pages were missing. It would jump from talking about the palace being built to the animals that inhabit our land.
Let's see. Foundation? The kingdom of Aurelia Cavella was founded by Prince Xion on the second eve of Augustus.
Interesting. I've never heard of who first founded our kingdom. This book must be really old if it's talking about that. I put the first book back in its place and moved on to Sid Kaeham, maybe like that. It was different to the other books, a journal. When I opened it, I found that every page was covered in black ink, making it unreadable. I don't actually know if I should keep reading this, because what they are saying in here is exactly what we just... Okay, it's like just a journal, do you understand? I'm feeling like there's no need for me to go and click on this, because it's just a summary of what we just found out or something, so I don't feel the need of it. It looks like someone had a bit of an accident with this one and an inkwell, or was it purposeful? Bloodlines was next. I picked up from the pile. I opened it to the middle. The name should have given me a clue, honestly. It was some kind of a record of births for what looked like a high-class bloodline. On this page, the bloodline started with King Shion of Sidkham, 10 whatever, and moved down to more recent times. It ended with Prince Caspian.
I keep reading about this Sid Kaem. I wonder what it means. Wait a second.
Prince Shion was the founder of our city, right? That must mean this is the royal bloodline, but why does it only start 500 years ago? Aurelia Cavella has always been here for thousands of years. There must be a mistake here, surely. People had to live somewhere before then, and everyone knows there isn't anywhere inhabitable outside of our protected lands. There's only here and the forest. I flicked the page over to the next one. The page was filled in strange markings in a script I'll never read before. I hurriedly pulled up my sleeve to compare them and found some matching characters. The layout was similar to that of the royal bloodline, so it must also be a list of names, but who?
It looks like the last person added to this list was 19 years ago.
So absorbed in trying to work out what that meant, I didn't hear the sound of someone opening the door behind me.
Well, well, well. An intruder in my archives?
I whipped around to face the voice. It was none other than the speaker himself. I'll never seen him up so close. I hid the book instinctively inside of my cloak.
Speaker!
I dropped to one knee in front of him out of respect.
Thank you so much for having the archives open today. I've never seen so many books.
Excuse me? Having the archives open?
He looked at me with visible confusion on his face.
That's right. The man in the town square. He told me.
Wait, what? I definitely heard him right. He said it was open to everyone. Then why does the speaker look like he knows nothing about it?
I'm not sure who told you what, but my archives are off limits to all but myself.
Behind him, I could see guards appearing from every direction.
Trespassing in a restricted zone is an act of treachery. The only punishment fit for someone betraying their own home is death.
I could feel my stomach drop when he said that. Death. Death? I've never heard of anyone sentenced to death. No, this is all wrong.
No, wait! Please! I'm not betraying! I just wanted to read...
I don't know what your intentions were coming here, but I must act in the best interest of both our residents and the gods. Guards, take him.
Now wait there just a minute, Speaker.
I could see someone pushing through all the guards, making their way to the front of the crowd. It was our Lord, who works with the Speaker to uphold our lands.
We're not equipped to suddenly have a public execution, Sir Speaker. We haven't needed one in years. In this case, I think it would be best to exile him. Being out there in the forest is a death sentence anyway.
To Lord Septim. My heart dropped even further. I thought he had come to my rescue, but what he was suggesting was worse than death. No one in my lifetime had ever been exiled. The things you would endure out there would be much nastier than the quick hanging you would get here.
Please! I didn't mean...
Silence.
He stood in front of me, his icy eyes digging into my soul. I couldn't help but think about earlier, in the town square when our eyes met. I flinched away from his gaze. I mean, we were deceived by the other guy. But there is also like this situation which is supposedly they have guards in there, and we went all through into the library and no one said nothing, no one saw us nor nothing. What situation is this?
Perhaps you're right. Why dirty our own land with the blood of a criminal when we can let nature take care of it for us? Guards, take his arms. I'll escort him to the forest's edge.
Both my arms were seized by the burly guards. There was no hope of escaping. All I could do was follow behind the speaker, being pushed from behind the entire way. I hung my head in shame as I was paraded through the town. I could see faces peering at me from windows everywhere I went. All I could do was look down at the ground. Who could blame them? I would watch too.
Release him. You may go. I will handle this from here.
The two guards saluted before marching off back into town. Once we couldn't see their backs anymore, he spoke.
I don't know why you would do what you did. Nevertheless, you must now live with the consequences. This might seem unfair. It would be best for you to learn just how unfair this world can be, though.
I looked up into his face. I couldn't tell what he was thinking at all, but I was mesmerized. He reached out and lightly caressed my chin with his fingertips. Up close, his long eyelashes trembled in the wind, and he looked almost ethereal, like he himself was one of the beings above.
You look just like your father did.
Oh, he knows who we are. And he wants to discard of us for some reason. At that, he released my face and turned to leave.
Run. Run and don't look back. Just like he did.
Yeah, like, it seems like it was like a situation that was like explored to work like that. Right? That's why I was like saying, what the heck? No one is supposed to go in there, and he has guards, and no one was like watching him just go inside. So he was allowed to do it. So this guy could just like kill him, or then the other one suggested for him to be exiled. But yeah, it was like one of those situations that seemed like it was planned for things to work like that. How the red hair guy is involved, I don't know. His bag slowly disappeared into town. I thought about going back the same way, hiding at the orphanage, but everyone just saw me being marched through town like that. There was no other choice. I had to leave with only the clothes on my back, the envelope from the matron, the book I had stolen accidentally from the speaker, and my regret. I run like I'll never run before. It felt like my heart would burst out of my chest at any second, and my lungs burned with every breath. Muscles I didn't even know I had ached. Even when I thought I couldn't go any further, I kept running. When I finally collapsed, all I could see was trees and darkness in all directions. I was completely lost. I lay down on my back and caught my breath. What can I do now? I've lost everything. No home to return to, no family. What will everyone at the orphanage think when they find out? Will they be disappointed, angry? Will they think I've abandoned them, betrayed them? A million thoughts run through my head all at once. I took a deep breath of the fresh forest air and calmed my thoughts. It was only then when I realized the situation I was in. Here I was, sprawled out on the forest floor alone at night. I suddenly picked up on all the things I hadn't noticed before. A scratching sound, bushes rustling, a howling. Sorry, I have something in here. Oh my god. A howling from somewhere far in the distance. The wind picked up and whipped my hair around my face, only adding to the sudden terror that had struck my heart. All the stories I've been told since childhood about venturing outside of Aurelia Cavella hit me. In fact, I hadn't only heard of them, I'll repeated the same ones to the children time and time again. Nobody left the confines of Aurelia Cavella. The forest was a dangerous place that spread to the far corners of the planet, and only by the protection from the beings above had we lived in peace for so long. I strained my eyes, trying to look into the darkness that surrounded me. Finally, I dragged myself up from the forest floor. I pulled my coat tighter around myself for security and nervously checked that I still had all of my belongings before turning back the way I came. Maybe if I stay close to the city lights, it will scare away any danger.
It was this way, right? Or this way?
No matter which direction I turned to face, the trees looked the same, and from every angle I could hear strange noises.
Oh, come on. Which way? Which way?
I whipped my head from left to right before dropping my head into my hands. I unconsciously let out a sigh.
It's hopeless.
Once again, I was surrounded by the sounds of the forest and the feeling of the unknown. Who knew it would be this scary? An eerie feeling gripped my heart. I could feel eyes on me.
No, I must be imagining it.
Suddenly, it was quiet. All I could hear was my own heartbeat quickening by the second. I had to get out of there. With no sense of direction, I just run until I couldn't run anymore. No matter where I went, everything looked the same. The trees started to blend together in my eyes, becoming one entity. I collapsed onto the ground and crawled backwards until my body hit a tree. Just the feeling of having something behind me made me feel more secure. I buried myself into its huge roots. I could barely make out my hand in front of my face in the pitch-black darkness. The night was freezing. I brought my knees up to my chest, hugging it tight to try and get some warmth. I felt the letter that I had hidden in my clothes.
I'm sorry.
With the letter clenched close to my heart, I shut my eyes to try and escape from the dangers of reality.
Destined child. False prophecy. Speak. Awaken.
I awoke with a start.
What was with that dream? I feel like that's not the first time either.
Everything felt kind of hazy, and I could barely recall what it was about. I uncurled my body from the forest floor and started to take notice of my surroundings. Rays of bright light shone between trees' branches, bringing a slight warmth to my face. It felt nice after the cold wind from last night. The air felt crisp, which must be a sign it's still early.
What?
When I finally started looking around me, I noticed something strange. I was surrounded by beautiful flowers, kinds I'll never seen before.
When did these get here?
Last night was just so dark. Were they here before? They could have been, but isn't it a little strange for them to be around me in a circle? I let out a sigh.
What's with all of these strange things happening to me?
Sorry, sometimes I say like sight, and it's not that. It's just it comes out like that. It's a sigh. The weird pain I had in the town square just yesterday, the dreams that I can only half remember, not to mention the markings on my arm. I raised my arm up to the sky, inspecting it closely in the sunlight. I traced symbols gently with my fingertips.
It's definitely the same symbols from the book I brought with me. What is it trying to tell me?
Yeah, it has a ton of CGs. Yeah. It's just like it's actually quite cool in that matter. And I think most visual novels could be so much more cooler if they actually just put a lot more CGs along the way. And yeah, okay, there's a lot of work involved. Yeah, but sometimes they take like 3 years, to release a game. And it's due to several things that are not even, most of the times, are not even connected to the visuals. It's like, oh, it's because the script is taking a lot of time because there's a lot of branches or something. Do you understand? So I'm like, why not just put more CGs in there? Like, oh yeah, but it's going to be more expensive. Yeah, sure. No one is saying that, I think it all depends of how much heart, not thinking about profit, how much heart you want to put into things. Sometimes I think it's also like that. This one has a 10. Yeah, I noticed too. I absent-mindedly played with the flowers that surrounded me whilst recalling the events of yesterday.
I need to find someone that can read these markings. But there's no way I'll be able to sneak back into Aurelia Cavella.
I pulled the book out and flicked through some of the other pages. Most of them were readable but relatively unimportant. Charts, lists, budgets. But these 2 pages, the royal bloodline and the one that matched my markings written in an unknown language. I look back at the family tree. Everyone knows the monarchy unexpectedly ended around 20 years ago. But the reasons why weren't widely known or disclosed. Okay. I checked over the names again. King Xion of Seed Kaeham. What is this Seed Kaeham? I don't know how to say this very, very well. Why does the bloodline only start 500 years ago? And then Prince Caspian, the final name, 37 years ago. Under it, a signature barely legible, Lucius. Okay.
He could still be alive. He might be able to tell me what this marking means. If only I knew where he was.
Well, it might be you, to be honest. I suddenly realized just how hungry I was. I guess the last time I ate any food was yesterday. I tried to swallow, but my throat felt all dry and scratchy. I'm seriously thirsty. I searched my pockets, but I didn't have anything to eat with me. Finally, I got up and stretched my shoulders out. I'll give anything to sleep on a bed instead of the ground again. First task today, find water.
Easier said than done, of course.
I glanced at the trees around me, but I had no clue which way I came from last night. I'll just have to pick a direction and hope for the best. I brushed the dirt off of my clothes and started my hike to find water. By now, the sun was out high above, shining brightly. It warmed my chilled body and calmed my mind. Compared to last night, the forest wasn't even half as terrifying. Sunlight filtered through the green leaves above, leaving interesting patterns all over the ground. Moss grew over the moist tree trunks and roots, making everything look fuzzy and warm. I could hear the faint tweeting of birds up in the canopy. Instead of scary, it was actually kind of beautiful. The only sound I could hear was my own breathing and twigs between under my boots. It was peaceful, even serene, when the sun was up. Without noticing, I was slowing my pace, taking in the scenery and enjoying the atmosphere. Everything that happened last night felt like a dream. Wildflowers littered the ground where I was walking, so I tried to avoid stepping on them. I leaned down and picked one to bring with me. I kept walking at my own pace like this for a while before I was hit with a foul stench that quickly overpowered the fresh smell of the flower in my hand. It was kind of meat mixed with something sickeningly sweet. I kept walking and it kept getting stronger.
What is that?
In the distance, I could see some kind of cloth jutting out from under the bush. The closer I got, the more overpowering the smell was. It looked like some kind of knapsack. Could there be food in there? Water, something I could use out here? I tried to pull it out from under the bushes, but it must have been stuck in the branches I grabbed on with both of my hands and gave it one big pull.
Whoa!
It came out easily when I used all of my weight, but I pulled so hard I fell backwards onto my butt. The smell was suddenly so sickening that I couldn't help but gag. When I looked down at my lap, the knapsack sat between my legs, and I could feel something wet touching my leg. I reached down to grab it. Whatever it was stone cold and slightly damp. What is that? I held my breath, but the stench completely overwhelmed my senses.
3, 2, 1.
Slowly, I wrapped my hand around it, and with a final surge of courage, pulled it into view. No. I could feel all the blood instantly drained from my face. I threw it as far as I could, but I could still see it poking out from the bushes. I scrambled away as fast as possible, trying to put some distance between myself and that thing.
No. No. No.
This isn't happening. I turned away quickly and my stomach lurched. Was it like a cadaver or something? I don't know. The bag wasn't stuck in the bushes, it was stuck in someone's arms, and Al just pulled one right off. I brought my hand to my chest, the feeling of my heartbeat on my palm, the only thing making this feel real. I gagged again, this time much more violently than before. It was just lucky my stomach was still empty. There's no way. This couldn't be happening to me. Just yesterday I was living a normal life, safe and happy. How did it come to this? I glanced back in the direction I threw it. It hadn't moved. An arm. A decomposing human arm. Who would be out here? I can't think of anyone wanting to leave Aurelia Cavella. No one leaves. I've never even heard of anyone else being expelled. Then have others also been outcast like I was? How long had the body been there? Another wave of nausea washed over me. Well, it couldn't have been more than 6 months. I don't know if you know this, but if you are like laying dead in the open air, you will not take, it's usually even less, but you will not, especially like in a forest like this, you will not take more than 6 months to reach your final decomposing body, where you're just like a skeletal. Okay, it takes like 6 months. If you're just like this, like in the open air, yeah, it is like that. Of course, like this is fantasy. They can even say like you was in here for like 3 years. I'm talking what is scientifically, what we know in terms of science, okay? I could feel the moisture on my hands. The slimy mucus left a brown sludge all over my palms. I rubbed my hands on the ground until they were red raw, but the stains weren't going anywhere. Yeah, it depends where. That's why I was saying it depends the place where you are, of course. But in here, you have like a ton of little species that will start eating you. So like 6 months, yeah. And I'm like, yes, it could be even less than that. The decomposing of your body. And usually you start like growing some mushrooms around the body when it's like that. Is because of it starts creating some fungus in there around you. Why won't it come off?
Get off! Please, get off!
I scrubbed, and even though you couldn't see it anymore, I could still feel it. It felt disgusting. The pangs of hunger I felt only a few minutes ago were completely gone. Thank the gods, I hadn't found anything to eat yet. I would have instantly lost it. I couldn't move. There had to be a reason it was out here so far from Aurelia Cavella, but why? Who? No. What could have done this to them? I glanced back towards the bushes from behind my banks. If there were arms, what about the rest of them? I don't want to find out.
I have to get out of here!
I leaped back to my feet, spun around, and sped away, giving no notice to the knapsack I left on the grass. How long
have I been running?
I'm so used to read that continue. I could still feel it. When I looked down at my hands, there was nothing, but I could still feel it. No matter where I looked, I felt like it was still there, almost watching me. The sound it made when I ripped the bag from the bushes, it echoed through my mind.
Wait, what's that?
Is that water? I could definitely hear a faint trickling nearby. I quickened my pace and burst out from the trees in a flurry of leaves.
Water!
I was met with a river. On both sides, the banks were littered with a colorful array of trash, clothing, and various odds and ends. I rarely noticed though. All that mattered is that I could get clean and drink. Without any thought, I kicked off my clothes and stripped down to my underwear as I ran towards the water's edge. I launched myself from the bank directly into the river. Who cares about wet underwear? The shallow water came up to my waist. It was cool and refreshing against my sweaty skin. Finally, water. Look, can you see, like, there's a guy in there. Yeah, behind him, look. I kept scrubbing at my arms, hands, and legs until they were red raw. It felt like I was rubbing away the memories from earlier. Once I was satisfied with that, I moved on to my hair. The sweat and grease from yesterday was already building up.
That feels better already.
My head instantly whipped up towards the opposite bank. On the opposite bank stood a young, blue-haired boy with a completely dumbfounded look on his face. His arms were full of a multitude of items. Is his hair blue? I have a hard time seeing blues. So it seems white to me. I don't know. It's probably me. I don't know. It's me. I bet. No, I can see them. It's just, I don't know why. I don't see very well the shades of blue that you see. It's like I still see it, but it's never the shade of blue that you are seeing. I don't know how to tell these two people. Yeah. So sometimes when it's very, very dark, I see like a dark brown, and I don't even see that it's like a dark blue. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Like it's, I've started noticing because people start pointing out to me like, oh, Irina, no, that's not the color that it's in there, you know. And I started understanding this, which is like, I still see it. I see blue. It's just I always see it in a shade of color that it's not the shade of color that you are seeing. I don't know how to put it in another way. So it's more like I still see. It's just different. So I'm like, because I'm not seeing any blue in there. So I'm like, are you seeing any blue in there? I'm not seeing any blue. It's probably me. Before I could open my mouth, he turned and ran.
Wait!
I bolted back for my clothes and took off in the same direction I last saw the body. The boy. The body. As I run, I could still hear the distinct sounds of leaves and sticks crunching in front of me. At least that means he's not far. The ground here looked like it had been used all the time. It formed what could almost be called a path. He must come this way a lot. Between the trees, I caught a brief glimpse of his blue locks. The blue locks? Oh my god, I'm not seeing any blue locks. Soon, more of his figure came into view as I gained on him.
Hey, wait, please!
He obviously wasn't going to wait. He was close enough now that I could almost touch him. I reached out to grab him, but only managed to brush my fingertips against his back. This might be my only chance. I can't risk him getting away. With less of my energy, I leaped towards him.
Got you! I said wait!
I tackled the boy to ground and held him there, my arms either side of his head. My lungs burned from the chase. The boy below me looked terrified. His body was shaking underneath mine.
I'm not going to hurt you. I just want to talk.
He suddenly turned bright red. He wasn't looking at my face though. He was looking where? Look at his face. When I followed his gaze, he was looking somewhere lower. Then I realized I hadn't gotten dressed yet.
I didn't. I mean...
I could finally see the boy up close. His pale blue hair was feathered around him, and his silvery eyes were wide and scared. When his lips trembled, he looked like he could cry at any moment. Oh, I'm not seeing any blue in there. I'm seeing white, and it's the gray, maybe, like it's like a little bit of little shade of gray in there. He seemed fragile, breakable. His face was slowly getting wetter the longer I leaned my soggy hair over him.
I'm so sorry.
Are you hungry?
Yeah.
I quickly got off of him and picked my clothes up, cradling them to my chest. Did we brought our clothes when we were running to catch this guy? Funny. Okay.
I'm going to put my clothes back on, so don't go anywhere, please.
Yeah, I don't, those things. I don't, The other boy got up slowly, keeping his eyes on the ground and nodding his head slightly. I turned around and slid my clothes back on as fast as I could. I fumbled a little while tying my shoes up. I half expected the blue-haired boy to be gone when I turned around, but he wasn't.
I'm done now. Listen, I'm sorry for jumping on you like that. I'm not trying to hurt you, but you're the only person I've seen alive out here. My name's Raen.
I reached my hand out towards him. He looked down at the open palm and hesitated, but eventually took my hand and shook it.
Fawn.
Fawn?
My name.
Oh,
Fawn. It's nice to meet you.
Is that supposed to be a name? I don't know. The items that previously were held tightly in his arms were scattered all over the ground, throwing up in the air when I tackled him. Thrown up, not throwing. Thrown up. It's as I said. It's still early in the morning in here. I am starting to, act like this. So, help him pick them up, wait for him to finish collecting his things. Sure. I instantly bent down to help him pick up his things. There were clothes in a rainbow of colors, strange ornaments, glasses without lenses, and an array of random junk. When I handed them back to him, he smiled at me with his tinted red face.
Oh, thank you.
So, what are all of these things?
These? They're from my personal collection.
His eyes suddenly lit up.
Do you want to see? Oh, I mean, I have food and water back at my house that I could share with you.
Really? Are you sure?
My hunger and thirst from earlier had returned with a vengeance. I'm starving.
Yeah, there's enough for both of us.
With his arms full of items to add to his collection, he turned around and started walking. I guess he wanted me to follow after him. I goggled up to walk beside him. Would you feel... This is a question for you. Would you feel totally okay with like just finding someone in the forest and that person saying, you know, I just come with me. I have food and things you can drink and just come with me. You know, would you trust that person? Even if it was like acting like he's acting like in a very shy way, would you do it? I don't know if I would. I think I would go, but I would always like, you know, like go but hesitating all the time, like, is this person luring me into any type of situation in here? Wouldn't you be like being lured into something? You know, I have food in there. Meat. Human meat. Would you feel like that? You're going to be the next one. That's how I sustain myself. Wouldn't you feel like that? I mean, no, I'm not saying that it's going to be like that. I'm just saying, like, if you were like in a situation like that, like this, wouldn't you feel like very cautious about it? I would. I'd be like, I mean, we are in the middle of nowhere. Okay, sure. There's like probably some, you know, some animals in here that we can like, you know, do something about it to eat. But wouldn't you feel like this person has like food and like is acting so shy and like, I don't know.
So, Fawn, you live here in the forest? By yourself?
Oh, yeah, not far from here. Not by myself, though. I live with a bunch of my friends.
Oh, okay.
Really? You all live out here together?
Yeah, you could.
For how long?
It could be even worse with my friends, and we are all going to kill you. He stopped for a couple of seconds before speaking again. He seemed pretty deep in thought.
A while now.
Helpful.
Why did you leave Aurelia Cavella when the divine beings don't protect the outside land?
What?
The speaker says it's too dangerous to even enter the forest, let alone live here. How did you get here?
A speaker? Aurelia Cavella? Are you talking about the town to the west of here? Across the river?
Fawn frowned at me a little, obviously confused by what I was saying.
You don't know the speaker?
I've never been there before, so...
Wait, so you were born out here?
No, I came here as a child.
What's up with this guy? Maybe he's delusional from being out here for so long.
Alright. Sure.
Yeah, and he has like all of these badges in his coat. Strange, right? I don't know. I just let it go. It was obvious Fawn didn't know exactly what he was talking about. Before I could ask anything, we stopped in front of a tall tree with a rope ladder hanging down from it. When I looked up, I could see a small wooden hut set into the trunk.
You live in a tree?
It's safer to be up high during the night.
He gave me a soft smile while he loaded a bag full of his new items and slung it across his back. I couldn't help but think about the knapsack from earlier. Best to just try and forget about it. Fawn started climbing up the ladder with ease and waved at me from the top.
I guess it's my turn.
I grabbed onto the ladder and climbed up after him.
Wow.
He has like a ton of things, maybe things that he ends up like finding along his journeys. When I came up the ladder and into Fawn's treehouse, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It consisted of only one room with a makeshift bed, a couple of chairs, and many other random bits of furniture. That's not what impressed me though.
You collected all of this from the riverbank?
Yes. I've been collecting it all slowly over time.
He looked so happy with my reaction. The whole room was filled with different colored glass, cloth, old books, all manner of items. It all blended together to become something that looked magical. Even though it was all abandoned, thrown together items, there was something homely about it. Fawn was busy scurrying around the room, putting things away and dusting. I watched the light trickle in from outside. It went through the colored glass, making the floor into a rainbow. When he finished that, he dug around in some baskets before presenting me with a bowl of mixed fruit and nuts and a cup full of water. Okay, that would make sense, like the nuts and fruits and okay. My hunger and thirst from earlier had come back with full force. I greedily ate the food and guzzled down the water. All the while, Fawn sat on the opposite side of the room watching me. He had an inquisitive look in his eyes. He kind of reminded me of the kids back in the orphanage. He obviously wanted to say something.
You're the first person I've ever seen out here, and I've lived here for a very long time.
I thought you lived with friends, though.
Oh, my friends are actually...
Before he could finish speaking, a rustling sound came from outside. It was slowly getting closer until...
Ah!
I jumped out of my seat. In the door came a fox, a raccoon, 2 birds, and a few animals I'd never seen before.
Guys, you're back.
I looked over at Fawn. Obviously, this didn't surprise him. He bent down and pet all of the animals, giving them nuts and berries as he went. I couldn't help but stare at the soft smile he had on his face.
Raen, these are my friends. We've lived together for years now. I'm sorry they gave you a fright. I'll tell them to come in quietly next time.
He's like Snow White. With all of the birds and all of the... yeah.
That's not really the problem, I guess.
He leaned down further and started whispering to them.
You can talk to them?
Of course. Sometimes they don't do what I tell them, though. They must be going through a rebellious phase.
Ah, so he can talk to them then. I didn't say anything though. There's no point upsetting him.
Then I really am the only person you've seen out here. You've been alone since you were a child?
Yes. I'm sorry I ran from you. I didn't know what to do when I saw you at the river. And it takes me a bit to think through what I'm saying in my head. I'm not used to talking to other people.
I looked at the floor in embarrassment when I remembered jumping on him, wet and nearly naked.
In the forest, I saw an arm. A dead body. I had to wash it off of myself.
I glanced back up at Fawn.
I spent the night running and then slept under a tree. I have absolutely no clue where I am. I don't know how you can live here. It's terrifying.
He stayed silent for a few seconds. I guess he was thinking through what he was going to say.
I can see why you would think that. The forest around here is dangerous, but
He stopped for a moment.
it can be beautiful too. The beauty is hiding danger, but the danger is also hiding beauty.
I stared at him. Earlier, I did think it was beautiful for a while. So maybe he's right. Still, I would much rather be back in Aurelia Cavella.
I see what you mean, but I'm not looking forward to spending another night out there. I wish there was somewhere else to go.
Fawn tilted his head.
There's a bunch of places you could go. Oxaber, Stagwich, Duskmoor, Sidcaeum, Duick. They're all pretty close to here. The last time I checked anyway.
My ears perked up at one of the things Fawn mentioned.
Sidcaeum? What is that?
It's the... what do you call it? The capital?
The capital? The capital of what?
Of the region, I suppose.
Honestly, I had no clue what he was blathering on about. Capital of the region? What region? Yeah. So the people in there apparently are being secluded of all of the world around them for some kind of reason. Probably we still don't know why. Outside, the sun was slowly disappearing and the night was filled up with stars. I stared outside for a moment, dreading going back. Last night, it was terrifying, but what choice do I have?
I guess I better head off now, before it gets too dark to see where I'm going. Thank you for the food and water. I don't know what I would have done without you there.
I got up slowly and made my way towards the ladder.
Wait!
My hand was suddenly clasped from behind before I could start climbing down. Yeah, you have like this expression, which is like climbing, but it's down. It's going down off the ladder. We could never say it like that. But it's not, no, it's not the first time I'm saying it. Every time I see it, I always think about it in a way like you're climbing, but it's like in the reverse way. Do you understand? Since we don't use it in that way, it's just so awkward. Do you understand? It's like awkward. We are just like, I don't know, the most closer to what you would have, it would be like descending. We're just like descending the ladder. Do you understand? Like we would like say it more like we are descending the ladder. Do you understand? So, but I understand you have like, this is your way of saying it, is like climbing, but down is like climbing, but in a reverse way. It's just like when we are not native and we are looking at it, it's just awkward, because you're saying it like that is awkward.
Why don't you stay here tonight?
Really? Would that be okay?
Yeah, my bed's only small, but I can sleep on the floor tonight.
Oh, no, I couldn't. You take the bed. I'm happy to sleep on the floor. It's much better than outside like last night.
Really, I don't mind.
We both looked at each other for a moment before breaking out in laughter. This could go back and forth forever with the two of us.
How about we just share the bed then? I think we'd both fit.
Fawn lit up again as red as a rose.
I've never...
He glanced around, not making eye contact with me, fidgeting and playing with his clothes.
shared a bed with anyone before.
Was that something to be embarrassed about? Oh, maybe he's worried that I'll push him out of the bed.
Don't worry. I'll make sure not to take up too much room. I grew up in an orphanage, so I'm used to sharing beds and stuff.
At the word orphanage, he stopped and looked into my eyes.
You didn't know your parents?
No. Did you?
He looked away again.
No.
He didn't look like he wanted to talk about it, so I didn't press him.
I'm not mad at my parents or anything, though. I had a good family at the orphanage. The judgment I received wasn't particularly good, so that's probably why it happened.
Judgment?
We both shared another confused look. Had being out here alone really made him forget the most simple things?
Yeah, you know. The judgment you receive the day you're born from the divine speaker. My fate wasn't very impressive, apparently.
You learn your fate the day you're born?
Of course. Everyone does.
They don't do that where I'm from.
Yeah, definitely a little confused.
If you're not tired, there's something I'd like to show you.
I'm feeling a little tired, honestly, but if he's letting me stay here tonight, that I don't mind following him around for a little while.
Sure. I'm not tired anyway.
Liar. His face lit up with a wide, innocent smile filled with excitement.
It's not that far from here. Follow me.
Fawn basically bounced out of the room, down the ladder, and onto the forest floor. I followed after him, not quite sure where this was headed. Now, this is the time. He's going to grab the knife, and he's going... I'm joking. I followed Fawn for a few minutes before he stopped in his tracks and peered out between the trees.
We're here. Follow me carefully.
He started climbing down the shallow slope with ease. I watched him for a moment, but came to the conclusion that it didn't look too difficult. Apparently, I was very wrong.
What?
The ground slipped out from under me, rocks rolling down the slope. But before I could slip over, Fawn reached out and grabbed my hand.
Careful! It can be a little slippery here. Keep holding my hand, and we'll go down together.
Okay, that's cool. Just going down together, like, okay. I watched the ground more carefully this time, embarrassed that I'll slip up after he warned me. With Fawn's hand strong against mine, we descended slowly, and we eventually got to the bottom of the steep hill.
It's here. Look.
He parted the last of the tree branches that stood in our way. The scene before me was right out of a fairy tale. A large lake was spread out in front of my eyes, the night sky brimming with stars as far as I could see. In the darkness of night, the lake became a mirror. It reflected those stars right back at the sky, not to be outdone.
It's beautiful. I've never seen anything like it.
Let me tell you something. This is totally fictional, and you will never find a situation like this where you have like, oh, the stars are reflected in the river during the night time. Yes, it doesn't happen. This is fictional. It's very romanticized, but yeah.
Back home, I never would have known this existed.
Yeah, because you needed some kind of some source of light in the water to be able to produce this, and you don't have it. A million words spun around in my mind, but I didn't know where to start. Who knew something like this could exist? I don't go to the theater anymore. I don't, because every time, like, let me tell you, I am the logical type. And I am that person that I am watching a movie and I see something that no one saw. I am like that person. I saw something that no one saw, and suddenly I cannot immerse myself anymore. I cannot, and then I just leave the theater. I'm like, I cannot be this. I am that person. I am, because I have a logical type of mind. Okay, so it's like things do not escape my grasp. Do you understand? Like, it's not always okay. In no way I have a high how do you say it, like high Q, right? In no way I'm like a genius or something. In no way, honestly. And when it comes to like math or something, I'm even worse. But like, there are certain logical things that, how to put it, I need to scream into my mind, Irina, this is fictional, forget it, don't rationalize it. Do you understand? Like, it's just like that. I sat down with Fawn, entranced by the scene laid out before me.
I thought you might like it. You see, this lake's full of all kinds of fish. Mostly the kind that would like to eat you for dinner.
He giggled a little, that joy-filled smile returning to his face.
But that doesn't stop it from being beautiful. The world isn't just black and white. There's things in the middle, too. And I think this forest is one of those things. You didn't look very convinced earlier, so I just wanted to show you that even a dangerous place like this can be somewhere you can call home. It's all about how you look at it, your perspective on things.
Yeah, like if you saw water like this, you would even be afraid to even put your feet in there, right? Because you could have like some type of electricity or something, so you could just die. Yeah, see, like you're thinking like me. Yeah, exactly. I'll be like, what? It's not natural. He quickly withdrew his hand from mine. I forgot he was even holding it.
This is a pretty big lake, though. It's strange that it's not on the map.
I haven't seen a map in a while, so I'm not sure.
He was crimson red from the top of his ears to his chin, like a tomato. Silently, we sat side by side. We watched the fish just below the surface, the stars that almost seemed to dance around us. But secretly, I watched Fawn profile. The moon made his pale skin look even paler, as if he were glowing. Maybe it's a strange thought, but it was almost as if he was part of the forest. He fit in perfectly. As much as the trees, the fish, the stars, he belonged. When he caught me staring, he looked away in embarrassment.
Anyway, let's head back now. It'll start to get cold soon.
Right. I'll try not to slip over this time.
As soon as we got back, a wave of exhaustion passed over me. Without delay, I started preparing for bed. Everything caught up to me at once. It really had been a long day. I rolled up my sleeve and looked again at the markings that run down my arm. I suppose there's no point hiding it from him, is there? He's bound to find out one way or another, and I feel like I can trust him.
Hey, Fawn?
He looked over at me with sleepy eyes.
I wanted to show you something. Yesterday, when I was still in Aurelia Cavella, it suddenly appeared on my arm. It hurt, like it was being burnt into my skin.
I lifted up my arm and showed it to him.
This... I've seen this writing somewhere before.
With speed, he brushed to my side and grabbed my arm. He brought it close, examining my marks.
Before I was here, I've definitely seen this somewhere.
I watched him excitedly, but to no avail. No matter how hard he thought, it wasn't coming back to him.
I'm sorry. How did it happen?
I'm not sure. One minute I was in a crowd of people completely fine, and then I was suddenly in so much pain, I blacked out. And when I woke up, it was there. Maybe it's not important.
He watched me carefully, thinking.
It sounds important to me. I'll keep thinking about it. Maybe it'll come back to me in the morning, after we rest. Turn around while I get ready for bed.
Fawn got into bed first and hid himself under the covers quickly. I shuffled in next to him. It was a tight squeeze, seeing as the bed was only made for a single person, but we had enough space to avoid touching. I scooted over further, giving him more room.
Why are you out here anyway?
Fawn glanced at me from over his shoulder, back still facing me.
They.
I tried to think up an excuse, anything would do really, but there wasn't any to give.
I got exiled. I went somewhere I shouldn't have gone. Honestly, I thought I'd be dead by now. We've always had it drilled into us that you can't survive out here. But for some reason, it's not quite as bad as I thought it would be.
Fawn smiled at me sleepily before turning back over and drifting off to sleep. It didn't take long for me to follow after him.
Open your eyes. Protect. Heal. Destiny. Open your eyes. Open your eyes!
I woke up with a start, sweating and shaking. My heart was beating hard in my chest, the sound echoing through my head. Fawn sat up at the speed of light, jumping to his feet.
What is it?
I took a moment to calm my breath, waiting for it to return to normal.
No, nothing. I just had a weird dream. I keep having the same one.
Oh my gosh. I thought you were dying or we were being attacked or something. But what happened in your dreams to scare you so much?
What part was scary? I thought back over it carefully. A booming voice, darkness all around me. I'm not exactly sure if it was scary to begin with. But every time they seemed to get more powerful.
I don't really know. There's voices. Loud, powerful, booming voices. They keep telling me something. To open my eyes about destiny.
Fawn stopped for a minute, like he does occasionally when he's thinking about what to say.
Maybe it means something? It could be some kind of vision.
Vision? Things like that don't exist, though.
Really? I've heard there are some people with strange abilities.
It's funny that he's not believing in visions, but apparently their fate is traced as when they are born. Then how do they know that? Isn't that through some kind of a vision?
So, I don't see how having visions is much different.
But we've always been taught that... Just forget it. I'm sure they don't mean anything.
I'm sorry. You might be right. I was just thinking out loud.
You know, you don't need to apologize so much. Especially not for talking. You didn't do anything wrong.
You're right. I'm sorry. I mean... Okay.
Fawn quickly busied himself, moving around the room and preparing food. I looked outside. The sun was just starting to show in the distance, so it was still early. A light mist spread out through the trees. We ate more scavenged food and watched the sun as it rose up above us. Something about all of these seemed too normal, like I'll already spend a lifetime here. The events of a few nights ago seemed so distant. All that exists is now.
Raen, I was thinking. I know we've only just met. Would you like to live with me? Here?
Seriously? You'd let me do that?
Well, I've just been here alone for a long time. I think if you left now, it would start to get a little lonely. I can teach you how to live here. Where to go, where not to go. I'm sorry if that's too forward. We've only just met after all. What am I thinking? Sorry.
Well, it's not like I have anywhere else to go. Like he said, he hasn't seen anyone else out here. We might as well stick together if he's offering. The only other option would be to wander around alone. I don't ever want a repeat of my first night out here, alone, cold, scared. Plus, he has the kind of face that makes me want to look after him. Watching him babble like that is kind of endearing.
I would be very happy to stay here with you, if you'll have me.
Really? I was sure you'd say no.
His face brightened up instantly, a smile crossing his lips. He really does want me to stay.
Then how about I show you around a bit today? Only if you want to.
If I'm really going to live here, I'll have to learn my way around. I can just trail after Fawn forever. He's doing me enough of a favor by letting me stay.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. I like that.
I ate the last of the red berries whilst I got dressed, the sweet taste lingering on my tongue for a while afterwards. I spent the day wandering around the forest while Fawn gave me the lay of the land. He showed me a few landmarks I could use to get back to his house if I ever got lost.